Welcome back. It is Friday, March 8th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. It's Austin joined by Logan. Let's recap how we did yesterday. We had 5 picks. Man, we had a couple that just did not go our way. A 2-3 day. Let's talk about our 2 winners of the day. We had Quickly's over and Jokic's over. Those were sweat free. I mean, I think Quickly had 21 and 18, and Jokic had 30 plus points. Now our losers, Pacers money line. Logan, another day you could probably go on a rant for that one. I had to watch that Ant-Man block 600 times, so that was real fun. And then our other losers, I had Kyrie's over. He ended with 27 when he needed 30. And then we also had Devin Vassell's under. He shot really efficiently. Like I said, when you take unders, if the guys are going to shoot efficiently, there's not much you can do there. But like I said, we're still over the 40 unit mark. If we can somehow continue to climb that above the 50 unit mark, I certainly think that would be a really good end to the regular season. But we still got some time. We're going to dive into 3 picks today. I got 2 of them. Logan's got 1. And before we dive into them, I want to do 2 notes. Number 1, congratulations to the people of North Carolina. Sports betting is on the way. We have a bunch of pre-registered links down below, top of the description if you want to go check them out. Bunch of great offers. I'm being told, just saying, that the offers are going to go down in terms of how great they are. So the best time to get them is right now to pre-register. When kind of sports betting drops, I believe, on March 11th, they're going to be a little bit worse. So if you want to pre-register for a bunch of different sports books, those details are all down below. We definitely appreciate anyone that uses our links. Number 2, like I said yesterday, a new second channel video is live. You can go check it out. I landed on a glacier in New Zealand. It was a really cool video. Go show the second channel some love. It is also linked down below, and that video will be linked at the end of this one. But you guys came in for some NBA picks. It's Friday. I actually have a third note. You're going to get Solo Logan over the next 2 days. So get amped up for that. Solo Logan, best NBA bettor in the world. Look at that man. He knows it. He's the best NBA bettor you'll ever find when he's solo. But without further ado, I'm going to dive into my prop of the day. And this is a guy that will be on the thumbnail. I think you might have heard of him. It is Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, over 30.5 points, minus 115 on FanDuel. My prop of the day, honestly, should have been putting like 2 units on him, because whether it's I'm coming on here giving you my favorite prop, or whether I'm sending it out to Logan and he's sending it off to you guys, it's been really dialed in. And I really like the Greek Freak tonight in LA taking on the Lakers. Now, obviously, when you look at Giannis, we always like to talk about motivational spots where he's going to show up. And he's kind of talked about it before. He always tends to show up against LeBron James. Now, obviously, Giannis is competitive. He always wants to prove that he's the best of the best. And LeBron's, been the best of the best for so long, that Giannis tends to step up against him, especially as of late. But regardless, I really like Giannis here. We know Chris Middleton's still out, and I just think this is a matchup where the Lakers have no answer for Giannis. It's you know what? We're going to let Giannis just destroy us, but we're going to guard everyone else, and hopefully that Giannis dropping a 30-40 piece on us is not too, we can overcome that, because I certainly think they could. And we see the Lakers, this is one of the highest over-unders on the slate in the 230s. Logan really liked the over, and maybe he can touch on that later, but we look at Giannis's last 4 games against LA. 47, 44, 40, and 38 points. He has owned them. He actually has 25 or more points in 13 of his last 14 versus the Lakers. So a very high floor for him. And I just think this is a spot where Giannis is going to wake up for it and say, you know what? Time to get active and get aggressive. I mean, we've seen him, sure, he's only over in 53% of games, so a little bit over 50-50, but when he shoots 15 or more times, which I anticipate him shooting well above 15 times tonight, he's over in 64% of games. So, look, all we can ask is for Giannis to be aggressive, and the Lakers have no matchup for him. If they want to put Rui Hachimura on him, I'm going to call the police. That's just not a matchup they want. Anthony Davis, he's owned AD. So I just think this is a spot where we're going to see Giannis be aggressive. Worth noting, he also plays a lot of minutes with the second unit, which will be without Anthony Davis on the court, and they don't have any rim protection in that lineup. So I like Lillard, but I think Giannis is the guy you really want to target for the Bucks tonight. So let's hope he avoids any odds boost, but I don't think it really matters for the Greek Freak. He will dominate the Lakers tonight. Give me his over 30.5 points. I don't take a lot of high lines, but when I do, I like to target a guy like the Greek Freak, who I know can get to the free throw line 20 times if he wants to. Let's just hope he's knocking down some free throws for us. But Logan, you got a spread pick of the day for the people? It's an underdog. Which underdog you rocking with?
Yeah, I'm rocking with an underdog that we've rocked with recently, and they paid out for us. I'm taking the Philadelphia 76ers +9, minus 110 odds on Caesars, your best value there. Now, this is also playable at 8.5, because if you're looking at your book, there's likely the DraftKings, the FanDuels, they had it at 8.5. I'm obviously going to get the extra half point and bet it on Caesars, because obviously if they lose by 9, that would be a push rather than a hook loss on the 8.5. But if you look at the line movement in this one, really interesting. The line opened at 3.5. I don't understand why it opened only at 3.5. Probably maybe they thought Maxey might play. I don't know. Maxey is out of this game. Line open at 3.5, shifted all the way to 8.5, creating, to me, a ton of value on Philly. I think we've had the most success in our picks looking at where the line opens and where it trends and kind of bridging that gap. In my opinion, you missed the train if you were betting New Orleans, but it won't stop them from being in everyone's parlay tonight. I guarantee you that's a parlay piece that everyone's just putting in there, set it and forget it kind of pick. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for picking Pelicans because there's definitely data there. These teams played back in November where Pelicans won by 10 in New Orleans. But I'm throwing that game out of this analysis because that was a completely different Sixers team that had D'Anthony Melton and I think one of the Morris brothers. So, I mean, that was just a completely different Sixers team. This Sixers team right now is viewed as radioactive. I'm probably going to get a lot of comments telling me absolutely there's no way you can bet this team, especially after losing outright to the Grizzlies at home. I get it. I totally get it. Once again, no Embiid, no Tyrese Maxey. The Pelicans in their last game, they legitimately could not miss from three-point range. They shot 24 from 49 from three. That's 49%. Crazy. And you know what? I was thankful for them for doing that because if you remember, we had the over in that game, and I was really happy because the Raptors were giving up just a ton of three-point looks. That Raptors mash unit / G League roster, whatever they trotted out there, still managed 44 points in the paint in that game and 22 fast break points. Why do I bring that up? Because their defense was straight up atrocious in that one, but they still had some offensive looks, and there should be looks for guys like Tobias Harris, Paul Reed, and other slashers in the paint tonight. I don't trust New Orleans to just completely shut down Philly offensively on the season. Philadelphia 5th in fast break points, and even without Tyrese Maxey, obviously a huge loss in the fast break, they should be able to still get out and run. I think that's where this Philadelphia team is best. A guy like Kyle Lowry can still easily lead the fast break. It's not crazy to think that with missing Tyrese Maxey that they just have zero fast break offense. That's not necessarily true. And Philadelphia, to me, should not be taking a lot of threes because that's just not who these guys are. 13 for 35 from three is why they lost to Memphis at home. Shooting that type of percentage is just not going to get it done. You need to go into the paint. You need to get physical. And I think if they get physical tonight with New Orleans, a little bit suspect comment, they should get physical, though, with New Orleans tonight. Philly also had 35 second chance points in their last game. Even with no Tyrese Maxey, there's still some scrappiness with a guy like Kyle Lowry. He's not a scrub. He's not what he once was, but he's not a scrub. He's still capable of going out and inspiring this team. And Philadelphia can play enough defense to give us a chance in this game. The last time we backed them as 7.5-point underdogs, I said there's a lot of value on betting a team like this that can come out and just win any game that they're not expected to win. They won outright in that game in Dallas. Forcing turnovers played a huge role in that. Philadelphia's defense at home, 5th best in three-point percentage allowed at home, 8th best in threes made allowed at home. They're not just going to roll over. I think they do contest. They do contest New Orleans as three-point shooters, and I bank on regression a ton. I mentioned it. New Orleans could not miss in Toronto. If they come out and shoot a lower percentage than that, this game could definitely get close. Friday night crowd in Philadelphia. This is a spot that I just don't see the Sixers coming out and getting embarrassed. If they do, then I read this game wrong, but I definitely think the Sixers are a live dog in this one. I would not just put New Orleans, set it and forget it into your parlays. I know they will be. I know the angle is hard to see. The vision is hard to see with Sixers because of just how bad they've been without Tyrese Maxey. But you know what? I'm taking it. I think that's way too many points for a Sixers team. Give me the Sixers as my best spread of the day. But Austin, you got another prop for us? Where are you going?
Yeah, Logan, you talked about it. They're getting physical tonight. I love it. I love the energy. That's what we need. Also worth noting, I feel like that pick is very similar to the Cavaliers pick. You know, you got a team at home plus 8.5 down one of their best players. Obviously, they're down, Embiid and Maxey, and you're facing a team like they were in the Celtics that were coming off a game. They made 25 3-pointers, smoked the Warriors, and what happened? Some regression happened, and they ended up losing that one outright. They couldn't make a lot of shots. Sixers, a very similar team. They're going to be scrappy on defense. They're going to try to get up in you, make life difficult. And like I said, the Pelicans, if they aren't making their threes and getting Trey Murphy crazy games, it's gonna be it could be a tough sledding one, a game that they maybe overlook the Sixers, given that they're down so many of their big guys. So I really like the Sixers plus 9 points. I hope it delivers. But my third and final play of the day for the people is going to be a guy that we haven't had the best track record on. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I am hopeful that this guy comes out aggressive tonight, because if he's aggressive, this line should be easy, because it is Jimmy Butler over 22.5 points minus 120 on FanDuel. Now, I don't mind it at 23.5. However, if it is 23.5, definitely take a peek at his points plus assists. I was going to take the points plus assists, happened to be 28.5. I like that a little bit more than taking the 23.5. I do think that Jimmy Butler gets those assists tonight. But why do we like Jimmy Buckets? Because obviously Jimmy is just a guy that is hard to predict. Is he going to be aggressive tonight? Is he going to be, looking to get his shots? If he is, we know how good he is. There's no one out there that denies Jimmy Butler's talent. We know when the playoffs come around, he can ease. This line's typically like 28.5 for him, because we know, hey, he ticks it up an extra gear, and he's kind of been ticking it up an extra gear post All-Star break. In 6 games post All-Star break, he scored 23, 22, 21, 37, 26, and 14 points. So technically only over this line in 3 of 6, but on the hook on one of them and then under by 2 in another one. Yesterday, just a terrible game for him. I mean, 6 for 12, only 2 free throw attempts, 6 turnovers, and obviously 1 loss to the Dallas Mavericks. Now they're on a back-to-back here. Jimmy can put that game behind him pretty quickly, and here he has to step up against OKC, a very tough team. We know that the Heat are going to be tough sledding to beat a very good Oklahoma City team, which has been one of the best home teams too, and the Heat are 8.5-point underdogs for a reason. I just expect Jimmy to be aggressive in this spot. I don't like the matchup for Terry Rozier. He's probably going to get Lou Dort or Jalen Williams or SGA on him, and I think you're going to see Jimmy Butler in one-on-one coverage, and it's going to be like, hey, Jimmy, we need a bucket. And he's going to have to be aggressive. And we saw in his last game versus OKC, granted, it was all the way last year, January 10th. He went out there, shot 17 times. If you tell me we get 17 shots from Jimmy, I'm taking it. But not only did he take 17 shots, he took 23 free throws, and he made all 23 of them, ending with 20 or 35 points. Now, obviously, getting 23 free throw attempts is kind of an anomaly, but it is not necessarily too crazy to say he should get to the free throw line tonight against the Thunder. The Thunder are a very aggressive defensive team, and as a result, this season, 7th most opponent free throw attempts allowed. So, look, if Jimmy can be aggressive, hey, we'll take it. We'll get to the line. He's a very good free throw shooter. And like I said, I don't like Terry Rozier's matchup, who just had a really good game last night. He was kind of carrying them against the Mavs. Tyler Hero still sidelined at least one more game. And we looked at Jimmy Butler prior to yesterday, 12 field goal attempts and at least 8 free throw attempts in 5 straight games. So I think this is a spot where Jimmy's going to have to come out there and be aggressive. The Thunder are going to be able to put up points given how good they are offensively, especially at home, and the Heat are on a back-to-back. So maybe their defense isn't as locked in. Maybe have to lean on the offense a little bit. Obviously, 23 points is a lot just because Jimmy Butler, you just never know what your version you're getting from him. But I think this is just a spot where, hey, the Heat have lost yesterday. They need to come out here and try to get a win here, and they could beat the Thunder. They could beat them. The Heat could beat anyone in the NBA. Pretty strong on that standpoint. Just comes down to how aggressive Jimmy is, and I think he's going to be aggressive tonight. We can get 15-ish shots. He'll probably get to the line 8 to 10 times. I think that should be enough usage to carry him over this 22.5 points line. I know he hasn't been the kindest to our bankroll in the years past, but I think this is just a spot I want to back Jimmy Bucket. So give me over 22.5 points. But Logan, any other picks you considered before we sign out of here? I know there's a couple that you looked at.
Yeah, yesterday, if you listen to my picks that didn't make the show, they both hit. So sometimes the best bet doesn't always hit, and the other ones you considered do. I did consider the Knicks money line. I straight up am addicted to fading the Orlando Magic, even though that's been my weakness. I don't know why. Every time I fade the Orlando Magic, they look like garbage for 3 quarters, and then they try in the 4th quarter and blow my bet. So, but the Knicks are a decent spot in my opinion. I think priced as a short, pretty much pick 'em. That would be a spot I would look to target them. I just couldn't pull the trigger on that one because the Magic are gods in the final 2 minutes. And then also, I do like your pick, Austin, a lot with Giannis because it goes hand in hand to how I was reading that game. You look at that total; it's set to like 233. Both those teams are not like fast playing, super high scoring teams. Yeah. The fact that we see a total set that high, I think the odds makers are telling us not a whole lot of defense, a whole lot of offense in that game. So I think I like your Giannis player prep a lot.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes in those Lakers-Bucks games, you just get a game where neither team feels like playing defense. And that could be, a Friday's edition of games that's televised. It's just like, yo, Let's agree, shake hands. We ain't playing defense. We're going to try to outscore each other and go 120 to 120 and see what happens. So I really like the picks today. Only got 3 of them. Hopefully we can get back to that broom, get you a 3-0 sweep so that Logan can carry that broom in tomorrow's video for a little solo edition for Logan. But I might give him my favorite play. Just going to take some time off as I only have a couple more days of my vacation before I am back at home. But you guys have a wonderful Friday. Let's hopefully go 3-0. And as a reminder, if you want to go check out those sportsbook offers, they're all down below for North Carolina. Go sign up, pre-register. Best offers are available right now. Go show it some love. And second channel, there's a second channel new video pop up on the screen. Go show that one some love as well. Austin Logan signing out. We'll see you guys back again tomorrow. Peace.